So as you can see, I have been at it again, picking up all sorts of goodness from Japan. So it's time for February's Japanese pickups. Now I have been busy bidding on stuff on Yahoo auctions, and also I've got one item as well I got directly from Surugai's shop itself. Mostly Sega this month, a lot of Sega, but don't worry, for you who love Nintendo as well, there's one particular Nintendo item here which I'm sure you're going to love. So let's take a look at what I picked up in February. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of Sega this month, so let's kick things off with a bit of Mark III. So after catching the Mark III bug, getting Hero and Choplifter on the My Card games, I've just been looking at Yahoo auctions and trying to get some other games in similar sort of vein, stuff that didn't come out to the Sega Master System. And this popped up. It's obviously an arcade stick specific for the Mark III. Actually, two were actually at the same time, which is sometimes a very good thing because you can actually get a pretty good deal sometimes. When there's two items the same, sometimes it gives a bidding low. So I was quite lucky to get this one at 4,500 yen, which is about it's about £30, I believe. It's about 40 US dollars. And I've just noticed there's a price tag on here, so this is 4,900. So yeah, definitely got a bargain. Condition is fantastic, the box is incredible, almost like new. And the stick itself, you know, I didn't actually need this because I kind of just use the MegaDrive arcade sticker that I've got, but it's not often you see these Mark III arcade sticks, so it's chuffed to get it. Buttons are pretty cool, your auto file. I've been playing obviously some Mark III games, so I've been really testing this out, but not clicky unfortunately. It's not clicky at all, but still works pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way it works, so I'm well chuffed to get that. So staying with the Mark III, so I've got to show the games, haven't I? So I got one little bundle here. This is all in one set that I won on Yahoo auction, and pretty reasonable as well. This was 3,500 for the whole set. There's loads of cards here, different conditions, some with box, some without. But yeah, that's pretty impressive for what I got for that price. Yeah, some have got manuals, some of them are just loose cards themselves. So first up is one that is Dragon Wang, very unfortunate name. This is very similar to something like Kung Fu Master, you know, that classic sort of Bruce Lee, was it Game of Death, where you got to go through different levels, just going from left to right or right to left. You're going to get swamped by all these enemies, they grab you, you just got to kick your way out, very similar to Vigilante. Some of them got weapons. It's okay, it's Kung Fu Master's better. This is just, it's just a bit, yeah, the gameplay's not too great, a bit slow, so a bit unfortunate. It could have been a good game. I think this they converted it into Kung Fu Master, not Kung Fu Master, Kung Fu Kid on the Master System, something like that. I think they just built up on this game, but yeah, Dragon Wang didn't come out the Master System, so a bit unique. But this is a 1,000 or 3,000 game, so before the Mark III on the Master System. Next up, a similar game as in the era of game. This is a 1,000 or 3,000 game, so before the Mark III, and this is Pitfall 2. Now, I didn't even know this came out on the Sega system, so obviously it's very similar to the 2600 version, but a little bit better, just as good, the gameplay, if not better. Just as frustrating as I remember. You have to get every timing perfect. A lot of fun. I played a lot of that on the 2600. I played the hell out of it. So it's good to go back to it. Brought back quite a few memories playing this. A lot of fun. Definitely recommend it. You know, very similar to Hero, where you've got like a souped up version of the classic Atari 2600 version. They did the same thing with Pitfall 2. So really happy to get this, and it was a bit of an unexpected find. Wasn't sure, I never knew it was on that system. Next up is a game that everybody knows, Ghost House. So yeah, this is a sort of platformy, sort of puzzle game. I think this one actually came with the manual. So here it goes. Red one indicates it's a Mark III game. So this is exactly what you got on the Sega Master System. Pretty good graphics for the time. This is a really early game that came out on the System, but a lot of fun. I can't remember what exactly you're supposed to do. I didn't really play much on the Master System, but I believe you've got to get, I think, a key first before you can actually defeat Dracula. Otherwise, you get him too early, he beats the crap out of you. But it's a lot of good fun. Only played for about half an hour or so. But yeah, definitely recommend if you haven't got it already. Again, TeddyBoy Blues. This came out on the Sega Master System. A lot of fun. This one I played quite a bit. Very similar to Flicky. The platform layout, very similar. It's exactly the same thing. They're both arcade games. I think they're on the same arcade hardware as well. This one's a lot of fun. You've got a gun so you can shoot stuff. Yeah, you just got to beat all the enemies and pick up the little, I don't know what they are. Some sort of thing they leave behind, you just pick it up. But yeah, really good fun. I like that one a lot. Of course, get the Master System version. Another one as well, the Astra Flash, which is Transbot. Very simple shooter. Really basic. Even the power-up system as well is a bit simple. You don't even get to choose. It's just like a random generator. It's just by chance what weapon you're going to get. A bit frustrating in that way, but it's a very simple shooter. You'll probably play it for about 20 minutes and then get bored, but yeah, it's a bit of fun for that 20 minutes. Next up is LodeRunner. So again, we're back to the 1,300 cards as a blue one. So this is, you'll see the footage, it's so basic. Little stick men running around. It's the simplest version of LodeRunner I've ever seen. The Japanese really do like their LodeRunner. I've seen it on, how many systems have seen LodeRunner? It's 2 on the PC Engine. Even later on the GameCube they've got LodeRunner as well. So this version is, apparently is a good version. I'm not a big fan of LodeRunner. Find it a bit frustrating. But yeah, it was good to try it out, and quite funny to see the basic graphics. Next one is an amazing game. Well, I think I find it amazing. Probably hyped it up a little bit, but it's Rock and Bolt. Again, this is a very early game for the 1000, so 3000. This is a very simple puzzle game. You just got to fix the girders in the right place. The first level you can fix it any way, you just basically got to tie them down. The next level you've actually got to put in a certain pattern, so if you get it incorrect you'll see a little red bolt, you've got to undo it and then do it again. Just a very simple puzzle game, but really addictive. I played a lot. So I played it, I couldn't put it down. Really good fun, and so amazing that it's so basic but still so playable. I really enjoyed it for some reason. I don't know. I'm probably hyped it up, you're probably going to play it and you probably hate it, but I don't know, some reason I enjoyed playing this one. Last but not least is a game, it's called Zoom 909, but in the West it was Buck Rogers, so another game that didn't make it to the Master System. So this is really basic, again, the graphics. It reminds you of Star Wars, of course. You'll see the graphics, you'll see the first level here, where it looks like you're going with the Death Star. Very simple, really good isometric fun. A little bit difficult. I didn't play it for too long. I couldn't, you know. Some of these games, like Rock and Bolt, you can't stop playing, but this one, after about 20 minutes, you get a bit bored. I'm sure back in the day I would have loved this. Yeah, for sure. Right? With the graphics for what we're talking about, mid-80s, this would have been pretty good. So I'm really happy to get that set of Mark III games. So next up we will move on to the MegaDrive. So with the MegaDrive, what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to get back the games that I had growing up. So I actually had to import MegaDrive from Japan. I got it in, I think they were called Console Concepts. back in Stoke-on-Trent, I believe they were. You would have seen him back in the day. There were magazines everywhere. But so I remember going to the shop itself. My dad took me there and he bought me a MegaDrive. I think it was for Christmas, I think it was. And yeah, I picked up a Japanese MegaDrive with Ghouls and Ghosts, which is pretty cool. That was a game I was after at the time. But these, I've been trying to get some of the ones that I had, some obvious gaps. And the first one's a bit controversial. Probably people are very surprised I don't have it already. I have the second and third, even though the second and third I never had back in the day. I only had this one, and that is Bare Knuckle or Streets of Rage. So the controversy here is I didn't think it was a particularly good game back in the day. I probably think it's better now than I did then. But I think this is too much of a hype game. The second is amazing, but the first one, it's not all there, because back in the day Final Fight was in the arcades and everybody knew that this wasn't as good as Final Fight, and Final Fight was going to come on the Super Nintendo. And yeah, it was disappointing it wasn't going to come on the Mega Drive, and we knew that Sega didn't quite get it as the same seller as Final Fight. The second one, fully respect, they did a much better job on it, but the first one, it was a 7 out of 10 game, to be honest with you, but still a good game. Don't get me wrong. I had a lot of fun with this one, especially with 2-player. The music was amazing, and also the bit where you super bomb, you got the police come on with a bazooka, they drive onto the screen. That was always a lot of fun seeing that. Yeah, I did enjoy it back in the day, don't get me wrong, but Final Fight, man, that was the game that it had to beat, and it couldn't beat it. So that's Bare Knuckle. Again, this is creeping up in price now, so it's quite. Probably the reason why I haven't picked it up sooner is because I've been trying to get it for a good price. I think I paid I think about 35 US, so I think about 40,000 yen or something like that for this one, which is not bad because they can go for a hell of a lot more. The other game that I needed to get back in the collection that I had it when I was growing up was Alien Storm. Now this is a really good fun brawler, arcade game. Never played in the arcades though, but only played it on the Mega Drive. And really good fun brawler. The theme with the aliens is pretty cool, and the breaking it up with the third-party sort of shooting bit as well just makes it a little bit more interesting. It's not okay. It's not an amazing brawler, but it's okay, and it's not too expensive as well. I think it also came out on the Master System as well, but that version obviously is far inferior compared to the Mega Drive version, which is pretty similar to the hardware that the arcade is based. So that was Alien Storm. So next up is another game that, yeah, I don't know why I've not had it. It's another game that I've never managed to find it for a good price, and that's Thunder Force 3. So I had this back in the day as well. It's just an amazing shooter. So I'm finally happy to get this one again. I forgot how good it was. Just playing it again now, it's so fast. The speed of this game is incredible. The power-ups, really fantastic game. I mean, I've been playing 4 a lot. I love 4, and that's I just completely forgot how good 3 is. It's a really good game, a really good game. And yeah, I'm really happy to finally get 3 back again. I think everybody's got it. It's not particularly expensive, but some people, it's just sometimes it just goes for far too much than it's because it's so common. So it's good to finally get it at a good price. So the rest of these games I didn't have back in the day, so I just wanted to get them anyway. So first up is Splatterhouse Part 3. I've got Part 2 already. Part 3 is incredible. I was so blown away by the cutscenes. So cool. Really amazing. Almost like photographic. The images they put in there. Very surprised. You know what you're going to get with Splatterhouse. Yeah, it doesn't change the format too much. This was more of a mazy sort of game to the others. I don't know if I screwed up because I don't want to do any spoilers, but I think there's, depending on how long you take, some events happen, I believe, or I hope so, because I was quite surprised by a particular event that happened fairly early on in the game for me. So I wasn't sure whether I screwed up or what. But yeah, I don't want to spoil it. It's a good game. Good game. You'll see the screenshots. You'll see the footage. Now, next up is a really good game. This is probably my pick of all the games that I've got here today. This is the game I played the most. It is Devil Crash, or I think it's Dragon's Fury in the on the MegaDrive and on PAL territory, or the Genesis. Really amazing pinball game. Got it on the PC Engine. It was amazing on the PC Engine, and it's just as amazing on the MegaDrive. It is fantastic. It's by Compile. Enough said, right? It is smooth. The graphics are amazing. It just draws you in. When I started playing to get some footage of the game, I just couldn't stop playing. I've literally been playing this game for hours this week. I was supposed to be playing Horizon Forbidden West, and I've been playing this instead. But yeah, this is incredible. I love this game. If you haven't got this and you like pinball games, absolute must. Absolute must. Devil's Crush, or Crash. I think it's Devil's Crush in the PC Engine, or on the American version at least. This is Devil's Crush MD. Next up is a game that I've actually got, the arcade game. This Inspector. It's getting late here. Insector X. So I've actually got the PCB for this one, and it's completely different to the arcade. The arcade is more of a sort of cutesy sort of shoot 'em up that had quite a lot of charm, and that's probably why I liked it. It's quite a charming little shooter. But this, they decided to go a little bit more gritty, and I don't know. So the gameplay is not the greatest. It's not a particularly good shooter. And unfortunately, when they went for this sort of darker sort of game, they sort of got rid of the charm that sort of made the arcade. So I was a little bit disappointed with this one. This one's not a particularly cheap one either. So yeah, I think I paid about, I think it was about 7,000 yen. So that's probably about $60 US for this. So it's quite expensive. It's not an easy one to get at a low price, and I think they go for a lot more than that, in fact. I believe it did come out in the West, so there is a Genesis version, I think. But I wouldn't really recommend it. Play the arcade version, see if you like it. Like I say, it's not the best sort of shooter, even the arcade game, but just the charm of it sort of made it. So once you lose that charm, you haven't got much left of the game. Next up is another game, another shooter. This one's relatively cheap, very common game. It's Curse. I've got a loose cart of this. I just wanted to get the box, and it's not the greatest of shooters, unfortunately. It's trying to be Thunder Force 3. I think it's before Thunder Force 3, so I don't want to be too harsh on it. It's a very early game, a bit slow. You're going to get frustrated with this one. The level design's not great, so you sort of die going into parts of the scenery. It's not highly recommended. If you get it on the cheap, then pick it up, but otherwise do not get it. Another game I should have done my research on. This is a very cheap game, that's why I got it. It was just a very low bid. I put it in and got it. I thought it was the soccer kid game. Oh, I forgot the name of it. I thought it's not football, it's dodgeball. This one, I have no idea how to play it. Well, I know how to play it, but I don't know how to win. I even get hammered by the computer. So he's absolutely hammering. I'm getting a bit frustrated. So yeah, I stopped playing it because I kept on getting hammered by the CPU. But yeah, the graphics are pretty good. I presume if you know how to handle the game and you know how to play it properly, then it's a lot of fun. But yeah, for a cheap game, it's not too bad. So that is the Master System out of the way. There's only one thing left, and that is the Nintendo thing. Now, this one I blame other YouTubers for, because it was Nintendo Arcade. I think it was him, he showed this a while ago, or not this particular one, but a version of it. There's a couple of boxes of this game. So obviously it's a gun game. It's rather than getting the zapper in the West, you actually got this wonderful gun. And this one actually come with a holster and all the rest of it. It's Wild Gunman, of course, and it's just fantastic. And this is such a good condition. So yeah, I blame Nintendo Arcade first of all, and then also Eddie Rollicle, because yeah, he sort of showing some gun games recently in his video. So I was actually looking for the PS2 and PS1 gun games, and then I thought, hold on, this wasn't there a Nintendo really cool Wild Gunman? Had a look on, saw a guy, saw it, I couldn't resist it, especially the one with the holster. I think the more common one is the one just with the gun. Both are obviously very cool. I'm really happy to get this, and it's in such good condition as well. The box is just so cool. It's really early Nintendo from the graphics. It's very cool. Really happy to get this. And I was a bit worried that this was going to get through customs, so I've had a few difficulties recently getting these gun games through. Toy guns are not allowed apparently, but luckily they let this come through, no problems. It came in fantastic condition, as normally we saw a guy actually. You normally get really good condition stuff from them. Very happy to get that, and that is all the pickups from Japan. I actually got a couple more others as well, but they relate to a different topic, which I'll do a separate video on, because it's something a little bit special. So on that note, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, laters.